today we're gonna learn together entire network about the small company. The company just registered, they bought the internet connection from one service provider, and they have some servers, they have some printers, and they even hire the admin department, sales, account, and even the technical staff, everything. So we'll see how we can configure that kind of network. So I'm gonna use two routers here. I'll explain later why I'm taking two routers. Okay, then I'll take two switch, then we'll go with the PCs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are 5 PCs, and one more PC is this side. So I'll explain one by one. So let me connect this first with this switch via straight cable. So we are using PC to switch straight cable. So this is the connection done. So this side, this is end user devices. So you can, this side you can even add the printer, servers, anything. This is company network. Okay, again switch to router. We're gonna go with the straight cable. Okay, then router to router we're gonna go with cross cable. Done. Then again router to switch straight cable, and switch to PC, again straight cable. Okay, so now this area is my internet service provider. Okay, so I'm gonna type here the name ISP internet underscore ISP 1. So this is my internet from ISP 1. Okay, so now, so behind this area it's called, I have the internet. So I'm accessing the Google server, I'm accessing Facebook. So this is the scenario, but I'm making as a, because it's a small lab. So I'll just configure here. I'll provide the Google DNS IP, public IP 8.8.8, then 255.255.0 tab 8.8.8.254. This is the default gateway I'm gonna provide. So let me come with this side first. How to do? First we go with the internet service provider. This side we no need to do. That's why I'm gonna do it just quickly. Quick. So internet area, in ISP area, we no need to explain. What we'll get from the ISP is only public IP address. Via public IP address, we're gonna do the NAT, static NAT. We'll apply the NAT, then we'll access the internet. Okay, so host name, I'll say ISP1, host name ISP1, enable service password hyphen encryption. I'm adding just inscription. I don't want, if I type any command, I don't want to search for the domain, so I'll say no IP domain hyphen lookup. So if I type something, it will come directly, it will not search for the domain. Then when we are creating the console, we have to give the domain name. So IP domain name Cisco, then I will generate username Cisco, privilege 15, password 0, Cisco. Then I need to generate the crypto key. So crypto key generate RSA. When I want to take the SSH console, we need this. So I'm generating the standard one. Then banner MOTD. To create the banner, I will say this is ISP1 router, but actually we need to mention here unauthorized person cannot access. So now I am gonna create the login line console 0. So I'm then password for this Cisco 123. Then I will say login local. Then I will say log sync. I want in one line sync. When I am trying to type, I don't want anything, and I don't want automatically to get timeout. Same thing, same I will do for VTY to get a SSH telnet. So 0 to 15, then password. One, two, three, then login local, log sync hyphen timeout. Then here, so I want telnet and SSH. That's why we have to add the command. Without this command, we can't take the telnet. So transport all, transport input all. Okay, so this is the command. Then we are done here. So now I am gonna go for the interface. This is the interface gig 0/0. So I'll say int gig 0/0, enter IP address. Here is 8.8.8.254.255.255.255.0, no shut, yes. And here I'll say IP NAT outside. Okay, so what is happening now? Sorry, because this is the ISP area, we no need to configure anything. So let me go for the next one. Int gig 0/1 IP address. So this side, so I'm providing the public IP. This is given by the service provider. We no need to do this. We have to just, we will get with the letter or some maybe email the IP details. Okay, so let me explain. So now let me finish this first. Even I will type exit it out. .100.100.100.2. Okay, so this one See, this PC is a public DNS IP for Google. The 0.0 I given 8.8.8.254. You can maybe imagine like that kind of setup is behind the ISP, and we are getting from the ISP. This is the public IP 200.100.0 slash, maybe generally we get 2-3 IP, so slash 30 slash 29. So let me just mention slash 24, and now I say this side is a 2. So how is 2? 200.100.100.2 slash 24, and this side 200.100.100.1 slash 24. Okay, so we have configured this all, gig 0, gig 1, everything, gig 1, gig 0 we configured already. Now let's come to this side. Before that, let me type, this is our internal IP address for our LAN 1.0 slash 24. Okay, so is a LAN IP. Okay, and we're gonna provide this gateway as a 254. So gateway is 192.168.1.254 slash 24. Okay, so now I will show you everything. So I'm gonna open this router. This is our company router. This is our inside company everything. So what is happening here? This ISP, from this ISP we got slash 24. Generally we don't get slash 24, we'll get 2 or 3 IPs or maybe 5 IPs. So that way we have to assign the IP to our interface here, and we have to make the NAT to access from one IP. All the users multiple users can access the internet. That's the policy we're gonna apply. So, and the other thing, I don't want to, in my company premises, I don't want to even go personally and type the IP addresses each and every desktop, laptop, printers, whatever. So I want them to get automatically DHCP through DHCP server. So this router, as I'm gonna create as a DHCP server. So let me open this. Okay, so I'll say no here, no initial configuration. Let me go with this. I'll say enable, then config, config T. Then what I'm gonna do, I'll go with the host name. Host name is HQ R1. Okay, enable secret Cisco, this is the password, service password, encryption, then no IP, domain hyphen lookup. If I type anything, I don't want that to search, then IP domain hyphen name Cisco, then I'll say crypto key generate RSA. Okay, then banner MOTD, this is DHQ hyphen R1 router. Okay, done. So now line con 0 password Cisco 123 login local, okay, hyphen timeout. I don't want that to get timeout. This is done. Now when we want to get a telnet or SSH, we need to create line VTY 02. How many lines are there? You just do a question mark here. Password, Cisco 123, login local, boxing hyphen timeout 0/0. Okay, now transport input all. I want everything SSH and telnet, but in real scenario telnet is not secure, so we generally say only SSH, not all. Okay, so this is done. Then I'm gonna configure the interface. So now here we're gonna do the even natting. So natting means, let me show you something. So natting, when we are doing, this is what we called is inside company, and this is what we called is outside company. Is a very easy to think this way. So what is inside company is this area. So I will say IP NAT inside. This is outside. So IP NAT outside. Okay, this one we got it now. So see, IP NAT outside, IP NAT inside. But where we gonna apply this inside and where we gonna apply this outside? So this gig 0/0. So gig 0/0, this one is inside and this 0/1 is outside. It's very simple. So let's go and say int gig 0/0, enter IP address. What is the IP address? 192.168.1.254. So this IP address is for the gig 0/0 and it will be our network gateway. Okay, then I will say no shut, done, is green. Now what I'm gonna do, so I'm already inside the interface, I no need to come back again and go in. So I'll say IP NAT inside, done. Now let me come out, exit. Okay, now what I wanted to do, all this my network, I want them to take automatically as a dynamically IP addresses from my server. So I'll say I will configure the DHCP server. So what I will say, IP DHCP pool. I will create the pool LAN 1. Okay, then I will say network. Which network I wanted to assign the IP? 192.168.1.0 network, 255.255.255.0. So /24 entire network I am assigning here. Now, so what happens? The default routers, we have to give this command. Default router 192.168.1.254. Why we have to give this default router command? If we don't get the gateway in the PC, then you can't ping. I will show you that if you want to see that. So but before that, let's finish this lab, then I'll remove and I'll show you. Okay, so I give an entire. Okay, this default router means it will give the gateway inside the PC. Now next I'll say exit. What I'm gonna do, some PCs, some printers, some servers, I want some static IPs. I don't want IP conflict or automatically assign every time, leased every time. So I will say for my printers, my servers, I want static IPs. I can go and manually assign. So I will say IP DHCP excluded excluded address 192.168.1.1 to 192.168.1. I'll say maybe 30 IP addresses. IP DHCP. Let me go. Question mark excluded hyphen address. So 192.168.1.1 to 192.168.1.30. So these are the 30 addresses. Okay. So the first IP will be assigned 31. Done. Now, so I am here. So what I am gonna do, I'll say, let me first configure the NAT here. So how we gonna configure the NAT? So there are very easy steps are there. So we say access list 100 permit IP. So which IP we are permitting now? Our internal 192.168.1.0, and this is the access list, so we have to use the wildcard mask. So 0.0.0.255, and what we want? Any. So there is no port any, so everything can be accessed. So we created 100. Now the next thing, what I'm gonna do, I'll create the NAT source. So the NAT source is IP NAT inside source list. This is the 100 source list, and what we gonna do with that source list? Which interface? Gig 0/0. So interface gig 0/0, and what we want? Overload. If you do question mark, the spelling is wrong here. I don't know today, keyboard or is me. IP NAT inside source list 100 interface interface gig 0/0. When you do question mark, now you see overload. Okay, so overload. So means what we are doing now, from one public IP we are spreading entire internal IPs to get the internet. Okay, enter. This is done. Now what next? After this is very easy step. So we're gonna do routing. IP route. Which route? 0.0.0.0 default 0.0.0.0. Then we will assign that public IP to 100.1. So one is the ISP1 router. Okay, done. This is done. Now let me go do WR. Now if I come this side and I say DHCP, see we got 31. So you can take like this, almost 254. So you can assign some static in that 30 IPs. See 33 successful. This is 34 and last one 35. Done. Okay, done now. So now we need to see, this is the red still, so we never configured this side. So I need to go and say let me do show run. If we configure gig 0/1, so there is no IP for gig 0/1 here. So let's configure the IP now. Now I'll say int gig 0/1 IP address What is the IP address? 200.100.100.2. Our side interface. No shut. Now we are inside, but this area is facing to the service provider, so is outside. So I'm gonna say IPNAT outside. IPNAT outside. Yeah, now we are done. So do WR. Okay, let's see now. And I'll say show IPNAT translations. See, there is no translation now. So what I'm gonna do, let me come to my first PC. I'll go to command prompt. I'll say ping 8.8.8.254. It takes time because it's simulator, and ARP takes time. Yeah, we got the reply. Okay, the same way, if I say 8.8.8, so that means I am trying to reach the internet, public DNS, Google public DNS. Perfect, I got reachability. Right, now same thing, I'll say show IPNAT translation. So see, I got the ICMP echo reply. So is my inside global is my router interface, and my inside local is my PC IP address for this one 31, and what I was talking about 192.168.1.254. see, this is the default gateway automatically took, that's why we given that default router there in the DHCP. And if there is no default router here, then you cannot, it will not ping the other side area, that's why we gave them. And so now this is ICMP. Now let's see the TCP. What I will do now, I'll come this side, I'll say telnet, which one, 8.8.8.254. see, Cisco. See, I am on ISP1 router, I can access the ISP routers. Okay, now let's see what's happening here. I'll say show IPNAT translation. Can you see the TCP now? Okay, and see, this is our router gate IP address, is our gateway local PC. This is, we are accessing from the 31 PC. Then this is the ISP, outside local, outside global. Okay, so this way we can do the NAT translation. Okay, thank you for watching my video. If you have any you want any information or any configuration how to do with the dual ISP, I'm soon gonna upload that. And if you have anything, you just send me a comments and send that device design, so we can work together, we can do together, we will try to resolve that issue. Soon I'm preparing for lab that can be for the Palo Alto firewall, how to install, how to configure Palo Alto firewall, even Panorama also include, I'm gonna include that also. I'm just waiting for the license. And then FortiGate firewall. So thanks for watching.